What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Fresh Take TV review edition. I got with me Vicky from Fangirl Review.
Hey y'all!
Okay, so Crisis on Infinite Earths finale, the 2 episode finale that they had on January 14th. Don't ask me why they decided to separate them out. I have no idea. It was not smart. But here we are giving our thoughts on the crossover as a whole. Night one. Well, not night one. Episode 4. I think it's the Legends of Tomorrow episode. I think that was first. Basically started right where we left off with the Paragons in the vanishing point, and they're all going crazy trying to figure a way out. I didn't really care for the first 10 minutes of the episode, honestly.
Nope.
I thought it was a little slow.
And okay, so first let me tell you this. Again, no matter where this actor goes, and I enjoy him, he'll always be Kevin Tran from Supernatural. Okay? So if you're like, who is Kevin? Who is she talking about when she says Kevin? Kevin Tran. That's who he is. Well, I don't even know what his name was in this episode. I don't really care. What was he? The Paragon of what?
Hope, I think.
No, Paragon of Hope was Supergirl.
Was Supergirl. Was it Destiny?
Was it Destiny?
It might have been Destiny.
Maybe. Because Truth was Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was funny. But yeah.
So, he's Kevin Tran. I'm sorry. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. The first part of the episode is like really slow, and I got the feeling that we were gonna do this whole plotting thing with Oliver now back as the character Spectre, which is kind of hard to go into. You got Google, you're gonna have to use it for that. There's not enough time to go into Spectre in the DC universe. So basically, they try to escape using the Speed Force. Oliver unlocks Barry's potential for them to get out, but while they're running through the Speed Force to get to where the Anti-Monitor is, the Anti-Monitor shows up and pretty much clotheslines them out of the Speed Force, I guess. Because you don't really see it. All you see is like them running, the effect for them running, and then you see this gray face, and then they're out. I didn't understand that.
Well, you did though, because like that kind of made sense. Because I think did something like that happen to Barry before?
Yeah,
when,
but
like the speed ghost thingies.
Yeah, but that was that was the speed. I'm like, I didn't know the Anti-Monitor could do that, but okay. I didn't know he could.
I was like, oh, okay. I figured, he knocked him out.
Yeah. So all right. So, but in the next like probably 10-15 minutes is him going around getting everybody to take them to the same place. However, there's a lot of fan service in here, and there's one cameo in particular which has already been spoiled by now, but the cameo is important because back in season 2 of Flash and season 3 of Arrow, Warner Brothers pretty much came out and said we will not cross over with the movies. That episode had Ezra Miller's Flash from the Justice League and DCEU show up in that episode. And it's not like a blink and you miss it. Because I thought it was maybe they took a scene from Justice League and put it in there. No, it's actually him. They shot the scene.
Yeah,
and he's in there for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're full on talking to each other.
Yeah. And you know what? It actually wasn't bad. It actually worked. Like, it worked, the interaction, because Ezra Miller's version of Barry is a little bit weird. And that's saying it nicely. Because they try to make him kind of autistic, kind of, I guess you say, like, hyperactive. Like, they're basically saying, like, in the movies that when he got hit with the lightning, it supercharged everything to the point where he can't really what's the words I'm looking for here? Interact with people. It was already bad because he was kind of like shy or whatever, but that just made it worse. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of get the feeling that he's a little spastic, but it works compared to Barry, Grant Gustin's Barry, which it made for a nice scene. I had to give him that. That was a nice scene. But my main issue with the entirety of the episode was how bad the CG was. The CG went from good to, I don't know if they lost money on the episode. I don't know, but the CG overall was kind of bad.
They're probably like, okay, we're making the episode. We're making this episode. I'm like, wait, we're how much over budget? All right, cut it back. Hold on. Wait, my daughter gonna color in this part right here. She can color this. Go ahead, baby. You got this.
Yeah, it was really kind of. It wasn't weird. It was just like you could. You could actually tell. That's how bad it was. You could actually tell.
I'm like, we got pay too many people. We got all these little things we gotta do. Matter of fact, all right, we cutting some things. People won't care as much about the CG as long as we show some stuff and make the fans happy. All right, yeah, we good. Keep going.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what the idea was, because we got so much, fan service in that episode. You're like, okay, maybe they think that's gonna go over the bad CG that they did, and then the fight at the end of that. What did you think about that ending of the whole fight? Like the whole fight with
when they
with
fought
Monitor?
I don't.
I guess they were trying to recreate the fight that they had with the Dominators to try to make it look like that, but it didn't work.
It was just, I was like, well, you know what? Y'all can cut all this out. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Cut right to the end when Oliver is dying.
Again.
Good. Like, that'd be good. Like, you show them rushing towards him and then end it right there and see that Oliver is dying. And we all can just jump to the conclusion that while they fought valiantly, and then they say Oliver sacrificed himself, and I would have been fine. I would not have felt like I lost a thing.
Yeah, because it first of all, it looked bad. Second of all, it wasn't as good as the stuff they have done before in crossovers previous, when they had the big blowout Avengers moment. Like, they usually do a good job. They usually nail that. But in this episode, they did not nail that.
Yeah, it felt it felt anticlimactic fighting.
Yeah, and then the killer of all killers. Oh, we just have to look at him and he'll like, what? Whoa. So Oliver is fighting Anti-Monitor, and the other 7 of you just have to look at him and he'll get stronger.
Yeah, I was like, I was like,
leave that line out. Just leave that line out.
I was like, so you guys are doing a Care Bear stare?
Yeah.
Because that was like Care Bear stare. Because they're paragons, like the little things who shoot from their bellies.
Yeah,
little hearts and question marks and things.
Vicky, that would have made more sense than them just looking at them.
Yeah, I'm like, that's because then if you do that, then have like, for love, have red shoot out of him. For hope, have
or something. I mean, like
light shoot, white light shoot out of her. Just different colors.
Or something. Just don't have him look, because that don't like. Okay, hold on. So you're just gonna look at him? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because that was because we're in a different universe. We're in a different world. We're whatever, and people can do all kinds of different things. So that would make more sense.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, all right, sure.
But Care Bears. Wow.
Care Bears there.
Yeah. So the ending goes basically Oliver dies again. I'm like, they are really.
But this time he dead.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, hold on.
He dead.
Like, wasn't he already dead when he became like?
No, last time he was just dead. Now he's dead.
Yeah, so they do that, and then it was a nice sequence when he actually died, and he said, "Look up," and you saw the multiverse coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was nice, but that ending was sappy, because you're like, dude, he already died. So I'm like, He was in purgatory.
Yeah, I'm not mourning you again.
I'm not mourning you. You already died. So, like, dude, just go back to purgatory. That's where you're going. I'm like, either go back to purgatory or go to heaven. Make up your mind.
Yeah, you decide what you want to do.
Yeah. So, and take us back, please, because I ain't trying to stay here. I ain't trying to stay here in drab visual Earth. All right, whatever this is. So so that's how that episode ends. My overall thoughts on that episode, it was mad. It was mad. It was really mad. Like after the first 3 episodes of it, I'm like, so this is the episode where they screw up.
Yeah, this is a throwaway episode that the CW always does.
Yeah,
and usually there's one episode in the crossover that's kind of like, ugh, whatever, but I gotta watch it. And
yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, that was this one. So episode 5 kicks up right after that, and I think this is the Arrow episode. And once more, we get a lot of fan service. But the cool thing is now everybody realizes we're all on the same Earth.
Yeah.
Which I thought was actually funny and cool at the same time. It especially with them with Flash and Supergirl meeting up first, like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing on my Earth? No, what are you doing on my Earth?
Yeah, because Flash like, oh, she's one of mine. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then the guy asking for a picture. Like, oh, can you sign this? Like, wait, we fight together?
All the time? Yeah. The funny thing about that, you want to know who that was?
He looks familiar.
That was Marv Wolfman. He is the original writer of Crisis on Infinite Earths back in '83.
Okay.
He's the guy who wrote it. And the funny thing about it is, the 2 characters that he got to sign his book was the characters that he killed that everybody was mad about. Because he killed Supergirl. Supergirl and Barry Allen are the ones who sacrifice themselves in the crossover to save everybody. And,
that's perfect.
Yeah, so, but people on Twitter were like, what the hell? Like, how dare you? I'm like, dude, come on, man. It was a comic book over 30 years ago, man.
Yeah, that was the whole point, is for him to come into this Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a different ending.
Yeah, here, can you sign my autograph book? You know?
Little tongue-in-cheek moment.
Yeah,
so somebody sitting in the writer's room. It would be funny if we did.
And, he's free? You mean he'll do it? He said yes? Yeah, he said yes. All right, yeah, get him then. So I'm like, it's one of them situations. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. So
I mean, when I saw him, I'm like, I know he's somebody. Yeah. I just don't know who he is.
Yeah, the original writer of the comic Crisis on Infinite Earths. The one, the only, Marv Wolfman. Love that guy. So, now here's the part where, certain actors and actresses should not cry. They just don't do it good. And we get the weirdest crying scenes from the Arrow side of people because now...
What's it? Because, I mean...
I don't get why... I don't
want to be that person. I don't want to be that person.
Going to be that person because this part is stupid to me.
When some actresses have too much...
Ooh, I know who you're talking about.
work done on their face... Crying doesn't look good because they can't move their face.
Yep. And
I understand you don't want to have wrinkles, but it doesn't look good when your face doesn't move when you're crying. And then the other guy.
Renee. The wild dog, I think his name is.
What is he from? Who's that? Wasn't he from that show?
Reaper. He was on Reaper. He was from the movie Coach Carter. He's done a few things.
Yeah, no, but he was from that show. I think they only had like 1 season. I don't even know what it was on. And it was like the guy had to like work for the devil.
That's Reaper.
Oh, that was Reaper?
Yeah, that was Reaper. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember the name of it, but I thought that show was hilarious. I wish they had kept it.
Yeah, I wish they had kept it too.
Whenever I see him, I always think of that.
Yeah. So they do their crying scene, but my thing was, I'm like, dude, okay, Sarah, he died twice. You know this. I get that he means a lot to you, but at this point, I'm like, come on, he died twice. twice, and you know it. You've been through it twice, so I'm like, that point was kind of just weird. I get why everybody else was because they weren't there and they don't, know.
Yeah.
And then they brought up Felicity. I'm like, they could have, if they couldn't get Emily Bett Rickards to show up for that one episode, they shouldn't even brought her up. Because I'm like, I don't get the point of bringing her up if she wasn't.
So she left the show.
She left the show She left the Arrow show last season because she wanted to go back to do other stuff. So she left last season.
I don't never understand that, right?
Then they said this season was gonna be the last one. I'm like, okay, why did y'all do that then? Y'all should have convinced her to just stick around for a couple episodes.
Yeah, because
shoot them if you knew that was gonna be the last. This is gonna be the last season.
When you know that check is clearing, and if they're willing to work around you doing other stuff, girl, keep the check coming in. I don't understand when people leave because they want to pursue other things, but the check, there's not another check coming in yet. So,
and she was getting, from what I understand, she was getting paid good. It wasn't like she
was one of the people, probably one of the highest.
Yeah.
Right after Amel or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't. I mean, I say that coming from the outside. You don't know what stress people are under.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're just like, I can smile all I want, but I really legitimately hate these people, and I don't really care. And I understand that. There's times when you absolutely hate your job so much that for them, if they have the money, they can just walk away. And I don't care. I don't want a check from you no more.
Yeah. It ain't that serious. I'll leave. Like, for my sanity, I'm out.
I understand that because, I took, when I left my one job, I took, a $10,000 pay cut because I hated it so much. I'm like, I don't care. I will make it work $10,000 less to get out of here. Bye. Yeah. So I
sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's so worth it. So I agree. But I think like for this, they shouldn't have even brought her up if they weren't, they
don't even mention her
because I'm like,
you ain't gotta mention her.
There was no point to doing that. There really wasn't. So I mean, it was one of those weird scenes, and I'm glad it kind of got cut into when they had the giant Bebo Godzilla moment.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, that was funny. Because it made it broke it up to where, like, because I was, like I said, I was tired of seeing them cry. I'm like, dude, I'm so over this. Like, I'm so over, like, y'all being like in tears. I understand that, like, from a story perspective, they had to do that, but I'm just tired of seeing it. Can something please happen? And thankfully, something did. So that worked out, and we get the Bebo moment, which it did a good job of breaking up the monotony, and it showed some decent laughs because you got Ray showing up and doing his Adam thing, which I think is always funny. I like Brandon Ruth in this, so it's one of those situations where I just like how they did that entire thing. But then we come to find out that guess who's back?
Back again.
It is everybody's favorite badly done, not even CG character, but badly done practical effect, and Danny Monitor. So he shows back up, but this time you have Black Lightning. He's there to help. They have I forgot what Wells this is this time, but he's there. And you have them all fighting, and this time they do the whole Avengers thing, and they do it better than they did in the previous episode. I don't know what it was. It looked better. It felt the action felt smoother. So I'm like, okay, this looks better than what they did in the previous episode. They pretty much blatantly said it, but Sarah is pretty much the de facto leader now, so she's gonna be what Oliver was. They pretty much, they didn't say it, but you got the idea. By the end of the episode, you got the idea that, okay, she's gonna be the one that they're gonna lean on and all that, which is fine by me because I like her character. And sometimes I like her character better than Oliver because sometimes Oliver just got on my nerves. They wrote him to be like a slightly less intimidating Bruce Wayne, and it kind of used to throw me off. I used to hate that about the character. I'm like, Oliver Queen is not Bruce Wayne. Why y'all keep trying to do this? So I'm like, okay, whatever. But I thought it was actually good, and I like the ending of they sent the Anti-Monitor to the Microverse as a way to stop him. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. You know, and that way you can actually bring him back at some point if you want to. You can bring
If
him
you
back.
show desire, yep.
Yeah. And then at the end they had a very big Justice League moment where they pretty much made the Justice League. And I'm glad that Black Lightning was in it. I'm glad that he's going to be involved in it from now on. Even though they're in Canada, he's in Atlanta. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm glad they did it because it'll make things make sense. Because if you know you're going to do a crossover every year, that means you can say, okay, we'll need Black Lightning and two of his characters for a month. You already know it. You can plan for it. So I think that works out. That'll work out just fine. Overall though, I think the crossover was okay. It's not my favorite crossover they did. That's still the Dominator one from like 3 or 4 years ago. The first big one they did with everybody. That's still my favorite one out of their crossovers, but it was better than the one last year. Way better than the one last year. The one last year was just like, why are y'all doing this? And why are y'all making Superman look like a punk? Like, so I still don't know what they're gonna do with Superman. But yes, Superman and Supergirl are on the same Earth. This is going to get hilarious. So and he's supposed to be getting a spinoff. They're supposed to be doing a Lois and Clark type show on CW. No. I don't know if that's gonna work.
Because I don't like
I don't like both of them. I don't like both of them.
He doesn't bother me because he'll always be Derek Hale from Teen Wolf.
Okay.
But there's something about her I don't really care for.
Yeah,
I don't really
like when they had the Smallville cameo. I like that Lois better than I like her. Honestly, I don't know what it is. I just don't like the way.
See, I don't like the Smallville Lois either. I
like her better than I like this new one they got.
Yes, that is true, but that's not saying much because I don't like her.
Yeah, I got you. But do you think they should have went with like? Well, I don't know. I don't know because I haven't seen an episode of this Lois and Clark thing they plan on doing. Supposedly because that's the supposed. Supposedly they're working on that, and that's one of the shows that's gonna replace. I think another show is gonna be leaving soon too, so they're basically gonna replace with other shows. The Green Arrow show is getting replaced with the daughter. She's gonna have her show. So Arrow show is going away, and Mia's show is gonna. I think it's Green Arrow and the Huntresses or something. I don't know what the name of that thing is, but her show's supposed to take its place. So, overall thoughts. What you think of the thing as a whole?
So what was it? 5 episodes overall. Yeah. For us all, in the end. Oop! I dropped my water bottle. We now have Earth Prime.
Yep.
Overall, I enjoyed it. It was cool. It was cool. Little crossover. I guess my question is the aftermath. Really, not even whatever. The aftermath in terms of Black Lightning. Because where did Jennifer go?
Jennifer, yeah, that they need to answer that, and I don't know.
Because I'm like, you did all of that. She goes into the whatever, and she didn't even. I'm thinking, oh, she's going up here. Where's she at? Where's she at? That park over there? Is that her? Like where? And then there was nothing. But Freeland is still in lockdown. So what I didn't understand is when Earth Prime happened. And it's Freeland's Freeland. So when he was with everybody, he'd be like, yo, so I'm going to need y'all to roll over. Because you're on the outside of the perimeter now. Now, if you're fool behind, just go back to Freeland and don't take none of your super friends with you, you're a dummy and you need to die.
Yeah, and therein lies the problem with they're finna run in. That's the problem they're finna run into because now there's no excuse to not have team ups from time to time.
Yeah. Well, I
So
don't care about excuse not to have team ups. I'm talking
yeah,
about purely storyline.
yeah, but I mean
What
storyline purpose. They're gonna
what
be
do
that.
you cannot have him just appear back in Freeland and
Yeah,
nothing has changed and it's still a perimeter lockdown.
yeah, like that. That's another thing too. Because remember, he has a seat at the table, which
Yeah.
basically means like, okay, if you need help, you should call.
Yeah. So what
So how are they
I,
gonna do this?
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing because I'm going to tweet if all he just go right back into the perimeter. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's the issue that they're gonna that they're gonna have going forward. I already see it now. It's gonna be an issue because, like I said, he's not. They don't shoot that in Canada. They shoot that in Atlanta. So that's the only show that I think is not shot in Canada. It's shot in
Yeah.
Atlanta. So I'm like, if it's shot in Atlanta and they all supposed to be on the same earth, like, dude, I get the logistic. That's gonna be a logistic problem. But
So like where? So these made up cities,
mhm.
where are they all actually like located in the U.S.?
Well, okay, let me put it. Okay, this is the best way I know to break it down. So, national. Think about National City as being L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Think of Central City as being kind of like St. Louis or something like that. Think of
Mm-hmm.
Gotham being like either
New York.
Pittsburgh or New York or Detroit, one of those cities. Think of it like that.
Well, I always thought it was Gotham as New York.
I usually thought of Metropolis as New York, but that's because
See,
of how they
those,
set Metropolis up in the stories.
The two of them are weird.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic with them because, like I said,
Like, you feel like it should be the same city.
yeah,
So,
because of especially how big they say Metropolis is in the comics, you would think they would be the same city, but they're.
No, see, I still think Gotham is New York.
Oh,
Metropolis can be like DC.
DC or something. Okay,
Yeah, because like
well,
it's just a little bit more grimy
yeah.
in Gotham, and it has a very 1980s New York feel
Vibe to it. Yeah,
That's what I always put that as New York, and
now
then Metropolis as DC.
here's the funny thing: Freeland is supposed to be a suburb of Metropolis, so I don't know if they're going to say something about that. Maybe they'll have where Superman shows up in Black Lightning from time to time because it's supposed to be like right outside of Metropolis.
Okay.
So
I was like, what's the breakdown of?
That's what because like it's really weird, and they're probably not going to go into it on the shows just because if you don't go into it, you don't have to worry about it. Just know that they can get to each other anytime they need to.
Yeah, you don't have to
explain. Yeah,
you don't have to explain anything, and if for whatever reason that doesn't work really because of whatever, then like you've like kind of pigeonholed yourself. But this way, and we just don't talk about it, and everybody just helps each other when they can.
When they can. So that's why I think that's probably the best route they need to go with it, just because. You don't want to get into that. Especially now because we don't know what the makeup of everything is, and it's clear that the only people who know that something happened were the Paragons. Everybody else don't know nothing.
Yeah,
they just went back to life as normal. They don't know that they were dead. they were erased from existence for about a month. They don't know that. So I'm like, it's one of those situations. I hope that they do some kind of crossover. Somebody shows up with Black Lightning, just because I'm like, especially where his story is going right now, he could use some backup. Just saying. The other thing too is I don't know how they're gonna explain the Jennifer situation because right before they got blinked out of existence, she went into, I don't know where she went into, but she went into the ether and she was just pure energy. So it couldn't erase her. So she should have, that's another thing. Like if she should have showed up at some point. If they were gonna do that, they should have did that. What they should have not have done in Black Lightning, that episode of Black Lightning, is have her turn into energy. She should have just got wiped out with everybody else.
Exactly. For you to take the time to do all that.
Yeah. She should have been a part of the crossover if they were going to do that. If not, they should have just had it where she was about to do something and then she got blinked out before she could do something. And that way you can go back in, when they go back to Black Lightning, they can explore that in their show, period. They don't have to worry about, it wouldn't cause a issue that like me and you are having right now. She should have showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, overall, I thought it was okay. I don't know what they're gonna do next year because they didn't do anything to set up next year's. Like this one was set up last year. So I will say this though, in conclusion, I do like the send off that they gave Stephen Amell's Oliver. I did like that, and I liked it better than what Avengers did with Tony, and then they put the doggone thing on the on the deleted scenes, and you're like, dude, y'all couldn't have did that in a movie. It would have taken 30 seconds of a 3 hour and 1 minute movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I did like that they actually gave him a proper, send off, since his show was the one that started their whole verse or whatever. I thought that was cool of them. But overall, I'm like, yeah, it was okay. It was fun, better than last year's. Still not my favorite, but it was fun. I don't know if they need to do 5 nights again, and they better not ever split it up again because that just killed the momentum. Because the first 3 episodes were good.
Yeah,
the first 3 episodes was awesome, and then they just killed the momentum because we had to wait a month for it to come back, over a month for it to come back, and that's just not cool. So, all right, that does it for this one. Anything you want to pimp out before we get out of here?
As always, to check out my YouTube. There's always fun things going on between cooking, workouts, and gaming, which is basically my life. So check it out, Fangirl Review. That's the YouTube channel.
Okay, where can they hit you up on Twitter?
Same name, Fangirl Review. You look that up. It'll come up as Professor White, which is my gaming name. My for most systems, it's Professor Vicky, Vikki for PlayStation, and that's it.
All right, you can hit me up on Twitter at JFleming, and you can check out the links below. I got my Discord, all that good stuff, so you guys can join there. I do have some gameplay vids that I'm back to doing live streams on Friday nights. Will usually be starting between 7 and 8, so please join me there. And don't forget the Winging It podcast on Sundays. So be sure to check out my stuff, and we will see you on the next vid. Peace out.
Toodles.